Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and today we're going to be completing a special transport delivery from here in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and we're going to head down to McCook, Nebraska today on the special transport route, a fairly long route indeed, and it's going to be a mix between a little bit of highway, especially when we get down around the North Platte area, but we're going to start off mainly on smaller roads here, kind of cutting through the Scottsbluff, Sydney area, so I think it's going to be a really cool delivery overall. We are driving the Western Star 49X today that is powered by a 600 horsepower Detroit diesel engine, and we are hauling this air conditioner unit today. Pretty big piece of cargo today, and of course on its lowboy trailer. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get this 49X started up and get on the road. And once again, a huge thank you to SCS Software for providing me with early access to the Nebraska DLC, as you can tell along the top of your screen. Therefore, everything you hear and see today within this video is American Truck Simulator through and through. There are no mods loaded in this profile, and I should also note that as this is early access, there may be some bugs along the way that will not be present within the final release. So let's go ahead and get on the road. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. It is fantastic to be back here in ATS. Once again, I've been putting out quite a few videos here in Nebraska, to no surprise. It is a wonderful DLC, and I am speaking highly of it, at least after the last two videos, and I think it's going to continue that way as well throughout this delivery. It's quite a long one, that is for sure, and they sure didn't leave me a whole lot of room to spin out of here. I think we're gonna have to cut across some grass here. This is a little bit of a challenge, that is for sure. My word. I mean, yeah, definitely cut across the grass back there. I gotta stay to my left and really hope that no train comes through here as we are trying to cross the tracks. And looks like I've navigated that, well, semi-realistically. But I must say, huge thank you to everyone who has been loving the videos as of late, commenting, giving your ideas for videos, because you better believe I have been noting them down. There have been a couple of really good suggestions as of late, and I do appreciate all the support there. And I know a lot of you are very much counting down the days now until the release, and, well, we're not far away, at least as of recording this video, and the May 16th, which, if you are watching this on video release, you should be able to get the DLC today. If you're watching this on video release day, this is going to be my last early access recording that I do, so that is very, very exciting there. So hopefully I've been able to give you guys a really good idea about what is happening with the Nebraska DLC, and are you going to pick it up, or are you going to wait a little bit to get the DLC? And I know a lot of you are very, very excited to just be able to explore a whole new area of the American Truck Simulator map, and honestly, I do not blame you one bit. That is something that I know a lot of us have been just wanting and will always do, is just pick up a brand new DLC, just because, well, there's a lot to explore. And I know a lot of you are very excited for the release date, and I do not blame you whatsoever. And yes, it has been a fantastic opportunity to be able to play in early access. It's something that I do not take lightly, and I do appreciate all the support around that, and I'm happy to kind of help you guys out a little bit too as well, and of course it provides some entertainment along the way. So now today's video and delivery is going to be a little bit back to normal, shall we say, and how I generally talk through things. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. That's up to you to decide. However, it's going to be a little bit more, let's say, laid back. Oh, finally discovered Scottsbluff. Okay, side note, we'll go on to this before I get into my more normal tangent of things. So basically, I was fighting with American Truck Simulator trying to get this delivery to happen. So for those who may not have watched my first look video, and of course then my, okay, what are we gonna do here? You gonna wait there, car? I do appreciate it if you do. Thank you very much. Perfect. Hopefully my rear escort is just following me fine. Looks like it did. Perfect. That is what I like to see. Anyways, what I was going to say is that if you haven't seen my first look video, or the second video that I did here on ATS, I would highly recommend you doing that because I showcase a couple areas of the Nebraska DLC. So first look video, we were way over on the eastern side of the state, over in Omaha and going to Lincoln. And then the second video I did, we were over in Valentine, the Welcome to Valentine, Nebraska video, and we headed just directly south down to North Platte. And so today we are over here, as you saw on the map, in the western side of the state in Scottsbluff, and we're heading down to McCook. So very much exploring the different areas of the map to see, well, how does Nebraska change? And it's definitely something that is quite interesting to see. I have noticed now, and even to this point, although Nebraska as a whole is very similar in terms of landscape, that is, for those who know their U.S. geography quite well, because the Midwest kind of landscape, and, well, some of the kind of flats with some rolling hills, that's just, we're going to stay over here, I guess, because that's where the escort vehicle is. I guess it is just a little bit of a passing lane, so that makes sense. I guess, whatever game. It's just the way the landscape is. So in general, the theme is very similar. It's not necessarily the same as what we see with, say, Texas, where you look like you're in what feels like 3 different parts of the world in one state. That is not the case here in Nebraska, as things are very similar. However, there are some pretty good differences along the way, and it has its own unique detail as well. And man alive, does this thing ever swing out and around. Gotta love the special transports, always a good challenge. But over here in the western side, it is actually really kind of neat to see what is going to be happening, and down to the southern, well, really southern border actually of the state down in McCook. So it's going to be very interesting to see as this delivery goes on. But as I mentioned, it's a fairly long one. I believe about 230 miles in game and roughly 5 hours in game, which is, well, or 6 in terms of delivery time. Now I believe that is actually for normal speeds, not heavy haul speeds, so we'll have to see how this goes. This video will probably be a slightly longer one, which is always good because we've got a lot to talk about, and, well, why don't we get into that right now? So we're going to take it back a little bit, because the reason why I hadn't been doing some extra videos is, well, I was I sound like a broken record here, but very busy. I had some things happen in my personal life that I just had to, well, deal with. So that was just unfortunate timing in some degrees, but also I just needed a break. In full transparency, I wanted to, you know what, take the opportunity while I had it to, you know what, do some other things. There's obviously YouTube is very much a huge part of my life, and something that I have a huge passion for. That is no surprise there. And, well, that's why I make these videos, because I enjoy it so much. But I have other interests as well, so I wanted to make sure that I prioritize those and spend time with friends and family as well. So that is always something that I have to balance, because, well, I have a job as well. So when I get some time off, I want to make sure I balance it out, and that is what I did. So there was part of that aspect as well. Just want to take a bit of a break. Also knowing that the Nebraska DLC was coming up very soon, and although at that point I didn't know what was happening with the Nebraska DLC in terms of confirmed release dates or even early access, I knew, just based off track record, that something was coming very soon, and I wanted to take the time to do that. And, well, you, the amazing viewer, has been supporting the channel if you are around for a while through the midst of it, and I do appreciate it so much. The channel's been growing like crazy, and I can't thank you guys enough. Now, you also say, well, Prime, you have made Prime News videos throughout that time as well, when there was no longer form content. Why were you making Prime News and not, well, longer form content? Kind of going back to the answer, YouTube is still my hobby. I love it. So, the Prime News videos, for those who may not know a lot about video production or whatever, I've been doing that series for quite some time. I have very good templates down in terms of production. You may not believe this, or maybe you will based off of how I commentate at times. I do not script a single thing. Even my tutorials are the most, I would say they're the most scripted videos I've ever made, the Prime how-tos. However, I never actually write out a word-for-word script. Those are the only videos, the Prime how-tos, where I actually do a bit of a bullet point list, basically, of the topics I'm going to talk about, and that's it. So everything else you get in between, that's just my commentary. Some would argue brilliance, and many would say kind of craziness. So yeah, that's the situation there. So Prime News videos are not scripted whatsoever. So I just kind of wing it, basically. It's whatever. I have a mental format, basically, of what I'm going to say, but by no means is it scripted. So it doesn't take a whole lot of time and full transparency to make a Prime News video, and that is why I've designed it to be like that. Straight to the point. Well, generally, depends on how I commentate that day, but the point is not overly produced, tell you about the news, and go for it. So I've been able to, well, create Prime News while I'm off because this is not work to me. But the time that it takes to record a longer form video, make sure it gets rendered properly, uploaded, all that stuff, it takes a lot longer and more time to do video prep as well, because I've got to make sure the delivery is all set up, find the one I want, make sure the truck is all set up. Some of you must saying, well, Prime is, you're making money at it. Well, I am, but that's not the motivation. I do it because I enjoy it, and I want to make sure that I'm not faking it, but it takes more time out of, well, my day, and some days are more limited in time than others, so I've got to make sure I've got that balance in check. So, roundabout to say, yes, I was still putting out content because that's what I enjoy doing, and in the little bits of time that, you know, I wasn't spending doing other things, in the midst of my relaxation, of course I'm going to make a Prime News here and there on the important topics. I've loved doing it. Of course I'm going to do it. That is hopefully not a surprise there. However, because we have the time, I could do these roundabout tangents and, you know, get away with it. We had some Prime News videos come out in that midst where I hadn't put out a longer form video. The first of which, kind of talking about, I believe it was the Missouri, I'm going to try and remember this off the top of my head. Missouri DLC Columbia, I believe. Yes, it was Columbia. Missouri DLC was the first one that came out after me not making a longer form video where I would have summarized Prime News that I had done recently. So that was interesting to learn more about the Missouri DLC, obviously an upcoming DLC for ATS now that Nebraska is, well, you're probably watching this when the DLC has released, which is very exciting. So that is obviously a situation there. We have then went into a Nebraska DLC blog post talking about the cities of Omaha and Lincoln. And well, if you want to check some of those areas out, just watch the first look video that, well, I explore those areas so you get to see that for yourself. And then we get into an Arkansas DLC blog post, another upcoming DLC. Well, I guess now the next one technically for American Truck Simulator after here in Nebraska in Hot Springs. So that was very neat as well to learn more about that area. Beautiful, beautiful scenery in both respective blog posts, or actually all three that I've talked, that I've mentioned in this brief moment. But beautiful screenshots in Hot Springs. There are some absolutely fantastic, well, I believe kind of more mountainous views, I guess you class there in Arkansas. Beautiful, beautiful area indeed. And that's going to be a really, really nice, well, very nice area to visit and explore some of the parks. Now, okay, I've got to come way out and about here to try and get around this corner. So let's see how I can do. Oh, I think we're going to do it. Ride the curb a little bit. We can get away with it. You know what? I'll take it. I will take it. I'm actually, you know what? Besides the classic first look video of a DLC curse that I seemingly have, where right off the bat I was already scraping up my truck, albeit I had the suspension down. I do realize that afterwards. I know a few of you commented on it. Yes, I realized that my suspension air was actually down lower because when I was getting stuff set up, and I was hitting buttons randomly and I forgot I had double configurations and it dropped the air suspension down. I realized that the hard way. So thank you for those who put the suggestion of lifting up the axle, well, or the air ride suspension. That's just that was a my fault thing. But anyways, besides that, first look video where I kept hitting things. Generally speaking, actually, the last episode and this episode so far have been pretty good in terms of driving skill, which I'll take it, honestly. I do not, you know, claim to be a fantastic American Truck Simulator driver. That is by far, that would be just kind of silly of me to assume that or claim that at the very least. I can always improve, let's face it. I am not a trucker by day or by night. Well, I guess you could say virtually I am. So that is about the length of my ability there. So I'm learning, I'm doing the best I can, and while trying to commentate to you as well and make sure that things flow semi-okay. Doesn't always happen, but that's fine. But then more recently for American Truck Simulator, we've had some other news, which is very, very fantastic. Starting off with the biggest news maybe for a lot of you, or arguably pretty big news, is that the ATS 1.50 update is now officially live for everyone. Obviously, that was coming because of the release of the Nebraska DLC. However, it is fantastic for everyone, even if you don't want to get the Nebraska DLC. It is now available 1.50, which brings in so many fantastic new additions to the game. It is something that I have... I think we may have just scraped up against the barrier there. We're going to hug the middle line here a little bit. We'll just park on the other side. I was gonna say we just won't show the people at the destination. The driver's side of the cargo, even though they'll probably do an inspection. At least you'd hope they would if you were paying this much for an air conditioning unit. But we won't worry about that. We'll just chalk it up to some the riggers. Even though in theory the trucker should check his load, we'll just put up to the people who strap down the cargo. They scratched up the trailer. Anyways, back to what I was saying. 1.50 for ATS has released, and that is fantastic news. I know a lot of you are very excited for that, bringing in a bunch of more optimizations, especially in the visual side of things. Of course, TAA, anti-aliasing, a much needed addition to the games because, well, the anti-aliasing in American Truck Simulator has been pretty bad. That is a bit of an understatement in all honesty, but it is finally better. It's not perfect, but significantly better with TAA enabled. So if you put it on TAA, if you have the equipment to run it, TAA and kind of ultimate settings, you are going to be sitting a lot better in terms of the anti-aliasing look than before. That is something that I'm very happy to say that I have been experiencing, and so far, as well, even though I'm running an early access technically version of 1.50, it is essentially the release version, and everything is running really, really well. And there was a couple extra cool additions besides, the headline of the California rework, which I made videos on in the beta. Now, this isn't good. Are we going to be able to go? Because those AI are in the turn lane. I don't know if this is going to work, is it? Are they going to just eventually move, or am I in this state of they're not going to move anywhere because of the heavy haul? This isn't good. Well, I made it work. Let's just say I paid off all the drivers to turn around and go home. Okay, a little bit of developer mode magic. We won't worry about that. Yeah, I would have been... okay, I will be honest. I waited there for a couple minutes. I wanted to see if the next light rotation they would decide to move. No one moved, and the traffic got even worse. So, a little bit of a miracle happened, and all the traffic just disappeared, and now it's back. So I'll take it. We're on the road again. That's all that matters. I can't even remember where I was. Oh, yes, 1.50 was ATS. So in the midst of it coming in was the headline options of, California rework and a number of other great features. There are also some more hidden ones. Ones that weren't really talked about a whole lot. One that actually I didn't even realize until I saw the changelog again, and I posted a bit of an announcement or like a community post on it, so you can check out the blog post. It's actually about this very truck here, the Western Star 49X. Now, you may not have noticed, but because I really haven't shown it too close, but take a look at the exhaust. Yeah, happens to have a bit of a name on it, and there's some other cool a couple newer exhaust options for the Western Star 49X, as far as I know, unless if I managed to select an exhaust that already existed, which if I did, my bad. But the point is that the Western Star 49X actually had a couple new things come in revolving around the exhaust, so that's kind of neat. That was something that was never talked about, and I didn't even know about until the final changelog, which is kind of neat. There was also tire brake squeaking, which I still have not been able to actually work. I know a few of you have mentioned that as far as you know, it has to be pretty much to the point of wear on the brakes or something like that, or tire wear technically, for it to start squeaking, which I guess makes sense. But unfortunately, I'll probably never see that in the ATS showcase unless if I purposely try and wear out brakes and tires somehow, because most of these trucks are kept pristine because I take care of my vehicles, aka most of them are brand new, more or less, in the profile, because that is how things roll here in the ATS showcases. So it's the way it is, so that's fine, but that's also part of the feature set as well. But the most recent news, at least as of recording this video, in the midst of everything that's been going on, the World of Trucks event for the Nebraska DLC, Cruising in Nebraska, is... Okay, sorry. I saw the electronic sign. You gotta love the detail and what it says at times. So good, though. So good. So realistic, because that's, well, a lot of the signs say that in real life. I'll make sure in editing I zoom in on that so you guys can see that, so I don't have to repeat it. Even though I could, I'm just going to leave it at what it is. Anyways, Cruising Nebraska. Obviously, if you're watching this video upon video release, well, you may even be already doing some deliveries for the Cruising Nebraska event. And like most of the other cruising whatever DLC you want to call event, it happens to, well, make you drive or haul goods to and from 12 or to and or from all 12 of the Nebraska DLC cities. So you're going to have a few deliveries on your hand, obviously, to try and cruise around the state. Obviously, it's not too bad because, well, it's a situation of just keep finding your delivery, some of them short, some of them longer. However, all your deliveries must be at least 100 miles long, as far as I am aware. That is the normal kind of condition that they have on it, and as far as I remember from briefly reviewing the blog post, that was the case. Now, I think we actually kind of came by here in the North Platte. Yes, because we are going through North Platte. That makes sense. So last time we delivered over here to Boncourt, I think I'll call it that. Also, thank you to the people who corrected me in, I think it was the first look video, when I mentioned the something flare cargo type. I can't remember what it's even called now. Yeah, I think it's fair, not flare, or something like that. I don't know. It's bad of me because I just completely forgot how it was corrected, but I understand for the next time I read it. I do realize after I said it, that was honestly just a mistake in a bit of a slip of the tongue. I knew I could read kind of a more script writing. I just misspoke, so I do apologize for that one, but thank you to everyone who picked it out. You guys are very good at finding the details on that. But anyways, Cruising Nebraska was just going to be a fantastic event. I know a lot of you are always excited to get some personal awards as well, which once again, that personal award comes when you deliver to and from all 12 of the, or to and or from all of the Nebraska DLC cities. You can get a couple personal rewards, and then there's a community reward as well. I know there's a paint job and a couple interior accessories kind of up for grabs. I don't know. I honestly can't recall which order it is, if it's the paint job for the personal reward and then the extra like plushie or something like that for the interior of your truck when the community, or if it's the other way around. But the community goal is hauling millions, as far as I know, of miles worth of cargo. So that is definitely, well, a big goal, but one that is always achievable with the great community here of American Truck Simulator. Everyone seems to love putting on the miles on their trucks, to no surprise, and yeah, it's going to be a really cool event, and I know a lot of you are excited for it, and I will be doing some videos on it as well. Of course, I'll try and complete the event as well. I normally do. Obviously, I don't necessarily post videos on every single delivery I complete, but I will do a couple at least, because that event will run for some time as far as I know. They generally do, and occasionally they're extended as well, just for those who may not be able to jump on the DLC right away or may not be able to get on all the deliveries off the bat. Because 12 well, if you're very efficient with it, with 12 cities, you should be able to do it well, it'd be a minimum of 6 deliveries. So if you're very efficient with your time and your route planning, it in theory shouldn't take too long. However, it's not always the way the logistic network works in American Truck Simulator. So you may have to kind of jump around a little bit or drive around and take extra deliveries that are only discovering one city at the end of the day, not 2 in one go. Now we started about, well, I guess it was when I loaded the cargo about 9 o'clock-ish in the morning. It took them a little bit to load up the truck and get everything connected. So I think we were leaving about 12:30, 1 o'clock in-game-ish, roughly. So it's definitely getting into the evening time here in Nebraska, but lovely, lovely sunset. Just look at that as the truck goes whizzing by. We're going to maybe come around here a little bit. Just beautiful scenery indeed. I always love the way that the lighting works now. Ever since the changes, it has been revolutionary for American Truck Simulator, and of course Euro Truck Simulator 2. I won't exclude that game as well. A very, very important game of the SCS Software franchise, and one that has definitely been surprisingly a little bit more quiet on certain things. Now, that's maybe just in my perspective, because I started creating content on SCS Software games in ATS and started playing the game first here in ATS and then went to ETS2, not the other way like a lot of people do. So that is something where I'm trying to get more ETS2 content out, and I'm not trying to exclude it, but there's been so much happening for American Truck Simulator. It's honestly hard to try and keep up for someone who doesn't do this for a full-time job. So that's unfortunately the case there. As much as I'd like to have even more ETS2 content in the mix as well, among other games that I want to do, it's sometimes just a balancing act, as I talked about earlier in this video, and sometimes compromises have to be made in a priority list. As much as I hate doing that, sometimes it has to happen in life. So it looks like we're getting close to our delivery point, as we have entered and discovered McCook, which is fantastic. I do like that indeed, and it looks like we're going to be making a right-hand turn at the light here. And there's a few cool videos I'm going to do coming up here, and a couple actually that I had a rough idea to do a plan for, and then a few of you actually commented about it, or at least there are a couple different ideas that have been commented on other videos as well, but even as of late, a couple video ideas. And I had a plan for one. I won't spoil it right now, but I had one plan that was pretty similar to what the recommendation was. And the recommendation, well, is pretty stinking close, so I'm just going to amend my plan to do that. So that's going to be coming up hopefully very soon. We'll see how things go and what my thought process is there, but we're getting very close, so that's all that matters. And there's so much good stuff coming here in Nebraska and around here on the channel as well. We are, at least as of recording this video, closing in very quickly at 6,000 subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. Although I don't like to say numbers are very important. Unfortunately, in YouTube, they are very important. Whether I'd like them to be or not, it's just the case, unfortunately. The algorithm, whether you love it or hate it, likes numbers, and especially around subscriber count and likes and all that stuff. And I never tell you to like this video and subscribe and stuff like that. I don't even know. Maybe YouTube will do some form of little flashy thing when I say that now, because apparently that's a thing, which is okay. But still, I don't like to do that. It's not my style. I used to do it when the classic beginner YouTube bike officer waving me in. Nice. Oh, I really cut the corner. Oh, I really cut the corner. I either just scraped by that telephone pole or left a mark on it. I don't know. Anyways, I don't like doing that anymore. That's not my thing. Oh, and I need to be Turning in here. I did not prep this whatsoever. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. Get the lights on too while I'm at it. Let's see. This could be bad. We're gonna see though. Here, I'm gonna come around this way. We're gonna have to come back left. Hard, I think. Get that to swing around. Yeah, we're gonna have to come in left more. I know I'm exterior view, but I also want you guys to be able to see this. It's not a purposeful cheat thing. I will be honest to say that. I'm not going to try and cheese my way through this. But I didn't help myself on the setup, that is for sure. But I think we're actually going to be okay. So we'll then come back wide again and come back this way. Will it accept it? I don't know. If not, I'll just have to make it work. But I think it may actually take it. No, it didn't take it, but that's that's fine. That's fine. I don't even care. It can just not take it, honestly, at this point. In real life, they'd be happy with that, but here in ATS, they sometimes have some other ideas, but that's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. What a fantastic episode. Once again, comment down below what you think about the Nebraska DLC and how excited are you to finally be able to experience that. And at the same time, let me know of any other ideas you want to see me do around here. Maybe it's in the Nebraska DLC, other states in American Truck Simulator, different trucks, trailers, you name it. Let me know what you think. I'm always open to suggestions. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.